Welcome to Hope, a channel to highlight stories where it is clear to see where sin abounded, grace abounds more. Check out today's episode.
This is Steven Arnold. So kind of just to begin, how did you first hear about Hope Prism Ministries?
You know, I was thinking about that. I'm not sure if I heard it on a Christian radio station, an ad, or that, you know, every year there's a thing called North Texas Giving Day. So I'm not sure which one it was, but when I ran across Hope Ministries and looked in their website, stuff like that, it looked like something that a lot of people would overlook because it's not a real, you know, sexy, you know, that's probably the wrong term. It's not a real, I guess, popular type of thing. You know, these guys that have been in prison and stuff like that. It's, you know, as opposed to a lot of other nonprofits that deal with, you know, cancer kids and stuff like that. So it was just like a little niche that I thought was kind of interesting. So once I looked into it, and so then I got to know Chandler and his operation, and I've got a real passion for that type of thing. So
Now, as far as, can you tell me or describe for me a little bit, you've done music that is for the ministry. Can you explain how you ended up doing that and kind of what was your thoughts on putting that music together?
Was kind of interesting because once I connected with Chandler, it was all via email or something, asking about his ministry. And then he saw our website and he was going, "Oh my gosh, I'm talking with the star," you know. And I'm like, going, "Sorry, we have a slogan. We're kind of the least known, most heard composers in America." Because, you know, it just nobody would know my name except maybe, you know, within the industry. But once he kind of got his head around what we do, he found it fascinating because he's got a musical aspect to his ministry. They do praise and worship and stuff like that. But then, so they had an opportunity to do some advertising on a couple of the radio stations. And so he called me up and said, "Hey, you know, do you have any music, you know, that we could use that would be compelling and, you know, would kind of brand us a little bit?" And so, anyway, I said, "Well, look, why don't you just let me just write you something? This will be your theme. It'll have your musical signature, and, you know, you can use it for advertising or for, you know, little background stuff on your website or across whatever platforms you need." So anyway, that's how it kind of came about. So he said, "Man, yeah, that would be awesome." So, and you know, he wasn't sure of the musical direction or whatever, so we went back and forth on that a little bit. So, yeah, so I created, I came up with like a little 3-note signature, and the way we often work is I'll come up with the raw material. Typically, I'll write on guitar, or if it's something a little more traditional, I'll use piano or something. But in this case, he wanted it to kind of rock out, So I wrote it on the guitar and sent him a really, really rough of just me just playing it. And that's kind of the way it all starts. And then we've got 3 or 4 composers and programmers and stuff like that. So then I just start passing the baton around. So gave it to a guitar player to put some, you know, I used to be a good guitar player, but that's a relative term. But now I don't play on any of our stuff because there's so many just amazing players, you know. So, and I go, what, you know, plus it would take me 5 times as long, you know. But so yeah, that's kind of how it started.
So as far as, I guess one of my jobs I'm trying to do with this video is to convince people that they should care about giving to a ministry like this, being a part of a ministry like this, and that it should matter to them. Yeah. So if you had to give me a reason, like, why would you tell somebody to care about, like, why should they care about this kind of ministry and why should they help it?
Well, I would probably say because it's sort of a lost concern. I mean, people compartmentalize, you know, people that have been in prison, and they, you know, they get stereotyped and stuff like that. But so it's just a segment of our society that's becoming, I guess more and more concerning with the rise in crime and also just what kids are being exposed to, brought up stuff like that. There's a propensity for them to kind of take the wrong path, and I've learned since then too. Oftentimes, what happens is that they get pigeonholed into this thing, and so I would say to anybody out there that's looking at various ministries, this is one that's probably not your most popular thing because they're coming from pretty horrid backgrounds and stuff. But they're, Chandler and his ministry, they've changed people's lives, and it's just it just amazing to see. So I've met a few of them just through the music, and it's just to hear about their background and then how they've navigated through that. It's just it's really inspiring.
Excellent. Is there anything else that you'd like to say as far as the ministry goes, or that people might not know, that might be something you've thought about that you would like to say about the ministry?
Well, they've slowly built. I think they've got like 4 houses now.
10. Yeah.
It's a scenario where they hold each other accountable because you maybe have 4 or 5 guys living in one house, and they're coming from various criminal backgrounds, and it's really easy to slip away. But when you've got that sort of community of people together like that are holding each other accountable, and that have breed the real deal of the horrors of what happens. It's enlightening to see that that camaraderie, how it could change people's lives, just in motivating each other and lifting each other up.
If you're liking this content, don't miss out on future episodes. Like, subscribe, and hit the bell for notifications. Now back to the show.
Okay, well, we'll stay away from country.
All right, so go ahead.
Well, yeah, so it started off with, he wanted like a 3-note thing. So I did this, I like doing these harmonics. So it's just 3 notes. And the interesting thing is it's really simple if you break it down. It's like a 1, 3, 5, and who would think that would be worth anything, but you take it and then kind of rock it out, and then did a little intro thing. Go. And then to the bridge. Yeah, so that's the really raw thing. So
Excellent.